I'm Andrew at St. Croix Cards, and this is On the Road to the World Cup, powered by SlabStox. Welcome back. This is episode number 7. Can you believe it? Already almost 2 months on the road. I hope y'all had a great week. Thanks for sticking with me last week. I really was under the weather, wasn't feeling good, so thanks for hanging with me on that episode. But I am back, I am feeling good, and I am ready to go. Lots to talk about. The injuries are piling up. Some high-profile names are not going to be at the World Cup due to injuries. We got to look at Group E today. Big group, two very, very big countries there in Germany and Spain. We got to take a look at who's hot. Who's hot and who's performing well and who is not. And again, maybe not too much time, or we don't have to panic too much, but just not the production that we would expect from this individual today. We got to look at who we think is coming out of Group E. And we'll wrap things up talking about the Jude class today. But let's get gassed up. Let's get going. Let's get on the road. And we start today with Reece James. And I could not be more disappointed. This is already the Donald Duck moment for St. Croix Cards. Oh, boy. England show. I was talking about who should be the starting right back for England, and I still firmly believe it should be Reece James. All around, offensively, defensively, I love watching this guy play. Picks up an injury. He is ruled out for the World Cup, and now a position of strength for England becomes kind of a question mark. Because if it isn't Reece James, it probably is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who just so happened to be benched by Jurgen Klopp for the Manchester City game. And in his place was James Milner because of the defensive kind of liability that Trent Alexander-Arnold tends to be. So is he now your starter at the World Cup? And there's still a little bit of an injury concern with Kyle Walker. So an area of really strength has become a big question mark for England with just under 32 days to go. I mean, we're at a month before the World Cup, and how great is that? But no Reece James, just really, really sad. These are the guys that you want to see, and you want to see them for their country, and you want to see them play well, but no Reece James at the World Cup. And we're going to stay with Chelsea because no World Cup for N'Golo Kante. And this, for me, is massive. This, for me, might be the biggest injury and the biggest miss of the World Cup for country. Because I think Kante puts Band-Aids over a ton of holes for any team that he plays in. I mean, he was on that Leicester team, that miracle run to the Premier League title. He's won a Premier League with Chelsea, the Champions League, the Europa League, the FA Cup. He's done it all. And he does it all with a big smile on his face. I used to love, a couple years ago, the quote was, 70% of the earth is covered with water. If you remember the rest of it, maybe you don't, maybe you weren't around, the other 30% is covered by N'Golo Kante. The guy is a monster in the midfield. He protects the back four. He really is there, he just bosses the midfield. For France to be without N'Golo Kante, I think is a massive loss. Because if you look at France's midfield, and we looked at that last week, it's very young. Chikmweni, you've got Kamavinga, you've got, very, very young midfielders, and the experience Kante would have brought to that team, I don't think you can put a value on it. So Kante missing the World Cup, that is also really unfortunate for me too. Like, I thought, France with Kante had a really, really good chance at winning the World Cup. I think they're still a contender and they're going to be up there. I don't know if they can do it without Kante. That's my own personal opinion, but they can prove me wrong. And they might, but I think this is a massive loss. And another massive loss is Diego Jota, as he is now scheduled to miss out on the World Cup for Portugal. Yeah, went down with the injury with Liverpool, and now he is going to miss the World Cup as well. Was planning on being a part of that attacking that attacking part of Portugal. And with him out now, the question is who's going to fill in that spot? Who's going to be the next man up? But I thought he was going to be a pretty productive member of Portugal as they looked to make a deep run in the World Cup. And then, the last one, we're going to stay in the Premier League, and we're going to talk a little bit about Richarlison. There was some injury concern I think it was against the game against Everton, where he picked up a knock and injury, and really the initial reports were he was going to miss the World Cup, and it was, and he was upset about it, and it was just, he was very down about it. And then the good news is he comes out and says, it might be only a 2-week injury. 2 weeks injuries, it gives him a 2 weeks to kind of get back to match fitness, and he could be ready and raring to go for Brazil as they roll into Qatar. So injury scare, not going to miss the World Cup, but those first three, man, I am just, these injuries are starting to really rack up. But we do have a show today all about Group E. We're going to be looking at Group E. Spain, Germany, and Japan are the ones. I didn't really see anything of significance out of Costa Rica. If I missed something, if you guys are high on a player out of Costa Rica that I just didn't see or could have hobby implications, please drop them in the comments below. But I'm going to focus first on Japan, then we'll roll to Germany, and finally we'll finish off with Spain. And as an Arsenal fan, you got to talk about an individual on Japan. Again, they're ranked 24th in the FIFA rankings. They did beat the U.S. men's national team pretty convincingly in the friendlies here in September. They're a good side. They're well balanced. And in their back line is Tomiyasu. Yes, the Arsenal defender. And the guy is like a Swiss Army knife and can play really anywhere at the back. He can play right back. He can play left back. He can play center back. And if you're interested, if you're an Arsenal fan and you're looking to get in, on a Tomiyasu, there is some really bargain values out there for him. Now, again, not rookie cards at all, but his 2021, 2022 Mosaic Premier League. You can get that blue out of 99 on eBay. The most recent sale, October 6th, for $3.75. So there's those low plays, still numbered Mosaic, or there's also a little bit higher end, and that's 2020, 2021. I pulled the Chronicle Prism. This is the gold. I know it's it's 10 out of 10. I know you're not going to see 10 out of 10s wind up on eBay all the time, but just gives you a gauge that 10 out of 10 sold September 28th for $250. Now, both copies are raw, but there's something in it. If you're a big fan of Arsenal and you're looking to start to pick up some of the players as we're flying high, and currently, as of this recording, 4 points clear at the top of the table. Yes, way to go, Arteta. We're going to hope that train keeps rolling here. But also, maybe you're a fan of the Japanese national team. I think he's going to play a vital role and could possibly, depending on how things shake out, could take that Japanese side into the knockout round. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. The other one that I want to kind of just point out is Kubo. Kubo has been around, if you've been around the hobby, has been around for a very, very long time, it seems like. And every year, you got that transfer to Real Madrid, but he's been a lot of different places. I think he's been at Mallorca. I want to say he's been at Villarreal at one point. I'm missing I think there were 4 loan spells in a row. Mallorca was twice. I know that. And he does have a rookie in that 2019, that rookie ticket, that Panini Chronicles set. You can get a PSA 10 of that rookie ticket. October 6th, it sold on eBay for $31. Now, Mosaic from this year, 2021, 2022, this is his blue Mosaic out of 99. Same one as the Tomiyasu. The only difference is this is the La Liga one and not the Premier League one. But this one sold September 23rd on eBay for $10. So again, it's pretty value. It's a value for me. $10 for an out of 99 Mosaic, or even $31 for a PSA 10. I think what people forget is Kubo has been around for a while. We've been talking about him, and you look at his age, and I almost kind of have to do he's 21. He's 21, and what some players in Europe have taught me, Vinny Jr. is kind of my go-to, is don't give up on him, right? If you think they have talent, if you think they have quality, they're still very young, 21, with a whole career ahead of him. But we've just been talking about him for years as a teenager and not coming. And now, at Real Sociedad, he's got a club, he's got a home, he's not bouncing around on loan anymore. So maybe, just maybe, home sweet home at Real Sociedad. And we'll see Kubo take off. But he's going to, Japan's going to need to score goals to move out of the group. And he's one of those wingers that could do it. So he is one maybe just to keep your eye on as we move forward. Big team, got to talk about Germany. They're 11th in FIFA's rankings right now. And if I say Germany, you say who? Who is the guy that comes to mind when you think about Germany? Well, if you're new to the hobby, if you're new to, the soccer card market, maybe it is the 19-year-old Musiala. Now, Jamal Musiala, for me, I think he's very underrated. And some of you might say, well, his pricing doesn't dictate that he's underrated. But I think when you start to talk, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later, when you talk about the rookie class that he's in, he never seems to be in the conversation. And we'll come back to that in a little bit. I had to throw out the 2020-21 Obsidian. This is the red flood out of 28. I love the color match. I love the Obsidian color matches. There'll be another one in this episode as well. But just the red on the red Bayern kit is great. Again, it's super short print. And some of you, I know you've said, hey, well, those just don't pop up on eBay every day. I get that. I know that. But it's also for us to see kind of the top end of the market. So this one sold October 15th for $610 on eBay. That is raw. But some of his other stuff is out there too. It doesn't necessarily have to be rookie cards. 2021, 2022, Topps Chrome here. This is his gold mini diamonds out of 50. That sold $92.97 on October 16th. So that would be his second year Musiala Topps Chrome. Now, he does have autos. Now, not many. There are not many out there at all. But he does have the Topps Bayern Munich set, the Topps Chrome Bayern Munich set. His auto is out of 49. This last sold on eBay September 15th for $327 raw. And then if you're sitting there saying, that's too much for me, I like Musiala, 19-year-old who is playing extremely well in the Bundesliga. I think he has 5 goals, 4 assists, or it's 4 goals, 5 assists in 9 games in the Bundesliga. So, he's contributing to a goal a game, essentially, in the Bundesliga. So he's playing well. And again, 19 years old, and he's really kind of central focused at Bayern Munich and is probably going to be the central focus for the German national team as they roll into Qatar. But the last card I threw up there is a refractor rookie out of Topps Merlin 2020. That sold on eBay October 14th for $18. So if you want to get a Musiala rookie, and that's, to kind of have it in hand as you watch him in the World Cup, there's definitely a lot of options available. And again, these are not the only options. I've had a couple people, slide into the DMs and be like, you didn't talk about this card or this card or this card. I try to give you a vast array of brands or different kind of, inserts to rookies, to second-year cards. But if you're like Musiala, now that guy interests me, go look at what else is out there. Go look at other cards, other parallels, other things, do the research. This is just to give you a gauge of kind of where, some of the higher end stuff sits and where, some of the, refractors or unnumbered stuff sits. But I think Musiala is going to, I personally think, this is me personally now, I think Musiala is going to have a tournament. I think he is going to come and he is going to impress at the World Cup here in just under 32 days. Now, the other players that we got to talk about for Germany, we're going to talk Kai Havertz as well. Again, he's another example of where I think that his production hasn't stayed at the level as it was at Bayer Leverkusen. And so some of his kind of hobby implications has dipped a little bit. 2018, 2019 Topps Chrome Gold Refractor out of 50, sold October 16th, raw for $471. If that's a little too rich for you, there's some other options. 2019 Topps Finest. This is his blue refractor out of 150, sold October 13th, $45.26. And that is a PSA 10. So you can get a PSA 10 blue refractor out of 150 for less than $50. And then the other one is out of the new Merlin product, 21-22. This, again, is a blue out of 75. This is an auto. It is raw. and it sold for $49 on October 15th. Another example for me of a player who moved to Chelsea, has not had the production like he had at Bayer Leverkusen. And now the hobby has kind of looked elsewhere to the younger talent. And again, I do the whole, he's 23. Like, he's not 30 or 32. He's got a lot of football left to play, and he could be extremely relevant for Germany in the World Cup. Now, there's a couple other younger guys. Now, this is, again, me maybe speculating a little bit. There's no guarantee that the next two individuals, attackers for what could be Germany's national team, make the team. Now, the first one, Karim Adeyemi, had a lot of name recognition in the last 2 years for the hobby, for a young prospect to look at and watch. Got his big move from Austria to the Bundesliga, playing for Borussia Dortmund right now. Really unfortunate that first game of the season picked up a knock, hasn't played a whole lot. But this is his Obsidian. If you're looking at his rookie card, one of the cards here is a raw Obsidian purple. This is out of 30, just sold October 17th for $150 on eBay. And then the other one, this is the 2020 Topps Museum. I really do love this set. This is his patch auto. This is /99. This is a PSA 9, and it sold October 16th for $252 through the PWCC weekly auction. Now, again, there's no guarantees. I know there's other names that I'm not going to dive into their cards, Timo Werner being one of them. So you got Timo Werner, you got Kai Havertz, you got Karim Adeyemi, all kind of buy-in for who's going to make that final roster for Germany. A lot of options, a lot of decisions need to be made. And then I'm going to throw one more into you, and that's Lucas Mecha. I believe is how you say it. I think the N is silent. But Mecha, he's playing, was a part of Manchester City's academy, is now playing for Wolfsburg. He's averaging about a goal every 3 games or so, but younger. But this is back to the Obsidian. This is the color match, the white contra. This is out of 9, so super short print. Probably not going to see a ton of these on eBay all the time, but you can also see he's very young, and a card out of 9 sold for $76. It is raw, but he's one too that I just don't know what the German national team is going to do. I mean, is he, he could possibly get a call up. And if he doesn't, like, this is not me being like, go out and get him, but just keep an eye on him. I mean, he's getting regular time at Wolfsburg now, and he's seeing the pitch quite a bit. And so maybe his continued development, early 20s can kind of take him to another level. So he just maybe if you've never heard the name Lucas Mecha, keep it in mind as we move forward. But we are going to move out of Germany now, and we are going to focus in on Spain. FIFA ranking is 7th, so they're looked to do extremely well at the World Cup. And when I say Spain, you say Pedri. Yeah, you got it right. But we're not going to talk about him just yet. We're going to talk about Nico Williams. Funny story, I was on the live with Aaron and Nate, and somebody said, I've been picking up Nico Williams. And my first thought was, oh, you're picking up a center back who played for Liverpool and who is on the Wales national team. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then it like clicked, like he had to go back in, and he's like, no, you guys are losing it. Nico Williams, in La Liga. And I'm like, okay, Atletico Bilbao. Here we go. Now my wheels are spinning and turning. But here's a young attacking winger for Spain that's on the up and up. I put his orange fluorescent out of La Liga Mosaic 21-22. This is a rookie card. It is out of 25, so again, low, but kind of shows you for a raw card sold for $96 on October 7th. But there is, some numbered rookies of Nico Williams out there. You just got to kind of be looking. And so Panini Chronicles, this is his XR Blue parallel. This is out of 99. Sold September 21st for $20.50. But a young winger looking to, you never quite know what could happen at the World Cup or who's gonna be in form and really take that next level. But Nico Williams is, for me, one to watch, not only at the World Cup, but continue to develop in La Liga as well. Ferran Torres, we've heard his name a lot as well. We can go all the way back to 2019, Panini Chronicles. He does have a rookie ticket. His PSA 10 sold for $35 on October 15th, so that you could have an option there for Ferran Torres. He even has autos in Topps Merlin this year. His U23 auto out of 99 just recently sold on eBay October 16th for $26. But he, after moving to Man City to Barcelona, he hasn't really gotten a whole lot of playing time this year. But I do see that he will factor into this, to Spain's national team. So you never quite, again, you never know. So if Ferran Torres is one that you're watching, I would keep an eye on it. And a lot of times these are the players that have kind of been passed over, as they hit their 22, 23, 24, they kind of get written off. And we look to the 19 and the 18 and the 17-year-olds, but they have a lot of quality, a lot of talent, and they are going to be on display for the world to see what they can do here in Qatar. So Ferran Torres is one to kind of keep an eye on as well. But it's interesting to me that when you talk about national teams, German national team, for me, Musiala comes to mind. When I say Spain, the first name that comes to mind is Pedri. Two individuals who are 19 years old, and I think that, Pedri, all the quality in the world, but playing for Barcelona has really caused, people to recognize and take notice. And we see it, I think, in his pricing. And you can look at this, the three cards. I picked three just to kind of give you a sense of, across the board. His 2020, 2021 Topps Chrome UEFA Sapphire rookie card PSA 10 sold October 16th for $170 and $107.50. Now, another rookie card that's out there. This is his base Obsidian rookie from 2020, 2021. Those are numbered out of 195, and that sold October 15th for $127.50. And then finally, the one I put up there is a Merlin Chrome. That's a refractor, a blue shimmer out of 75. It is his rookie. It is a PSA 10 that sold for $560. But we are in for a treat when we have Pedri and Musiala in the same group. My question is, who's going to come out on top? This class that is, that Soccer Cards United dub the Jude class has so much talent, and there are so many players that have kind of risen to being very good. Now, Pedri is extremely good, but I think if you put his numbers up against some of the other players in that class, I don't know if he is currently the number one player. I'd love to know your thoughts as we continue this conversation. But Pedri, Spain, Germany, Musiala, they're gonna come together. They're gonna have to play, and we're gonna see Musiala versus Pedri. As we finish up with Spain, a name that used to get a lot of attention and now not so much. A lot of it has to do with injuries, is Ansu Fati. And Ansu Fati, pricing wise, through the roof, a year and a half ago, and then his injuries happened and prices kind of came back down. But the quality is still there. Ansu Fati is very, very good at Barcelona. And I think, if he can stay injury-free, and that's a big if, you've got a special talent in Ansu Fati. A couple cards just to keep in mind. You have his Immaculate rookie out of 99. That is a raw that sold October 15th for $139.50. He's got that Topps Chrome purple refractor out of 2019, 2020. That is a rookie. That PSA 10 sold for $206.50. And if both of those you're like, I don't want to spend over $100, I still am really interested in Ansu Fati. He does have autos in Merlin. Again, not the only three cards that are out there of Ansu Fati. You can go and find many, many more. This is just to kind of give you an idea of where pricing is. But his speckled auto out of 150 sold for $49.99 on October 17th. So those autos, I don't love his auto with the circle and the line through it. I kind of tend to lean towards autos that I just really think they take time and they look good. One of my favorite, and maybe I'm a little biased, but Bukayo Saka has a beautiful auto. You can see the Saka, he puts a 7 in there. It's just a great looking signature. When I buy autos too, like that's part of it for me, is that, does the auto look good? Can you tell who it is? Does it look like they took their time? Maybe that's the teacher in me. I don't know. But Ansu Fati, again, they're really young in the attacking third for Spain as we get closer to the World Cup. Now, who's hot? Who's ready for Ivan Toney? Right? This guy has been playing so well in the Premier League for Brentford this year. Now, I kind of change it up as I watched the games today. I am filming on Wednesday evening, and now, through 11 appearances, they just got the 0-0 draw against Chelsea today. Through 11 games, 8 goals, 2 assists, had been called up in September for the friendlies. Should Ivan Toney be on the World Cup roster? Do you think he should? Are we looking at Kane and Tammy Abraham, who hasn't had the greatest start to the year in Serie A? Personally, I think you got to give this guy a shout. I think Ivan Toney has done enough, has been in form, and should be on the England team as they go to Qatar. 11 appearances, 8 goals, 2 assists. He has shown that he can do it. Now, again, you're looking at a guy who's probably not going to lead the line. That is Harry Kane. In my opinion, he is going to be the starter, and he is going to be getting the most minutes. But I think Ivan Toney deserves to be on that team. The couple cards that you can kind of look at, he does have a 2021-2022 immaculate rookie card. I do have the one out of 25. I know, extremely low print run, but it sold October 16th for a raw copy of this for $58. If that's too high, or you're looking for something and you find more of like the Chronicles Origin, they numbered stuff out of 99. His rookie out of 99 sold on eBay at auction October 16th for $5.50. And then finally, he does have that rookie out of 2021-2022 Prism Premier League. The one I have up on the screen right now is a red rookie that's out of 199. That sold October 14th for $14.99. For a guy who's been so in form, that's a lot of goals. That's a lot of contribution for Brentford. My thought then turns to, if he's going to play that well for Brentford, how long is it before a bigger club comes calling? And if he does make it that England national team, that's big for Ivan Toney, but that's also big for Brentford, to have their striker at the World Cup. So I hope he does. Personally, I hope he does make that final roster. He's definitely done his due diligence and been in proper form. But one player who has not been in great form, and that's Yeremy Pino, who has struggled a little bit here at the start of La Liga. 7 appearances. He has 1 goal for Villarreal. And in the Europa Conference League, 4 more appearances and only 1 assist. So very, very slow for Yeremy Pino. But the quality, I think, is there. And I think, it's not time to panic. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. I think he's 20. I think he's not, he's very young. The talent is there, and to kind of replicate, the form that he was in at the end of last year, he just is not currently. He's just not. So one to watch it. Hopefully he turns it around. Hopefully he starts to get on the score sheet. But definitely, you just almost got to kind of pick up the production if you're asking me honestly. He does have a few cards that you can if you think that he will turn it around. He's got a Merlin Chrome Auto. That's the speckle again out of 150. Sold October 18th for $27.99, so just under $28. And then his Stadium Club Chrome. That's the glimpses of gold out of 50. Sold for $35 on October 13th. So nothing crazy. Both of them are raw. None of them are graded, but some value ISK if you wanted. There are options out there for Yeremy Pino now. He does have cards that you can kind of look at to invest in. But here's where we're going to end today. This is where we're going to end today, and I already alluded to it a little bit early, and that is who is top of the class. As a former teacher, I was like, man, who's going to be the valedictorian of, we've already crowned it, Soccer Guns United again, the Jude class. You've got Jude Bellingham, you've got Pedri, and you've got Jamal Musiala. Who at the end of their careers, and I know we're speculating, and we're like, in 15 years, who is going to be the best player out of this group? Now, a lot of people think it's going to be Jude. And when I talk to people or listen even to some other content, a lot of people want to say Jude versus Pedri. And they leave out Musiala a lot of the time. It's never like a 3-point comparison. It's never this triangle of Musiala, Bellingham, and Pedri. It's usually Bellingham or Pedri. Here is my overall thought. And just go with me. I think we're going to get done with this World Cup. I think we are going to get out of group play, and we're going to get into the knockout rounds. And who are we going to be talking about? I think we're going to be talking about Musiala. That's who I think we're going to be talking about. I think Musiala is about to have the World Cup that we all are talking about. He is going to be that young 19-year-old who is going to lead Germany, and he is going to play a factor in goals and assists, and he is really going to be the talisman for Germany as they push into a deep run into this tournament. That's my prediction. Now, that's just me, but I value Musiala, and for so long people have been calling, Bellingham, and I love Bellingham. And I love Pedri as well. But I just think, as I look at the group, as I look at the group of Musiala, Pedri, Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, and we also have Japan, I think Germany is going to make some noise in this tournament. And I think Musiala is going to be the loudest member of that team. Now, I'm going to go back. Sorry, I forgot to mention November 27th. Circle it on your calendars. Put a star next to it. 27th, 1 p.m. Central. We have one of the games I am most looking forward to. And I'm talking most looking forward to. Now, I'm going to watch all the U.S. men's national team games, but the 27th at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you're on the East Coast, you're kind of almost done with work, cut out a little early, see if you can leave early, because Spain is playing Germany, and that is going to be fun to watch. 2 19-year-old superstars for their countries are going to clash in the midfield, and we're going to kind of be able to maybe even talk a little bit, break that game down and say, okay, why did Musiala look so good? Now, that's my own prediction. I could, you can have very different thoughts, but I just think Musiala is going to have a massive tournament this year. So going back to the group, Group E, Spain, Costa Rica, Germany. I do think Spain and Germany get out of group. I do. But Japan is that they are just experienced. They play solid defense. If they catch you on the off day, they could sneak in and bump a team. Now, who do they bump? I do think Germany wins this group. So if they bumped anybody, I think they bump Spain. I think Japan, if they were going to sneak into the knockout rounds, I think that Spain would be the casualty there. But I do think Spain and Germany do get through. I think that they'll do enough to get through, and that would lead us with some really interesting and fun matchups in the knockout stages. But that is Group E. Now you can look forward to next week. We got to talk about Group F, and it is a loaded group. If you look at that, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia are coming down. And we'll take a look and we'll analyze those next week. I just want to thank you guys. If you do have questions on particular countries, particular players, drop them in the comments below. Send me a DM. Send me a message on Instagram at St. Croix Cards. I'd love to talk about it. Thank you again. If you've listened to this far, man, thank you guys for just being here and being on the road with me. It's been so great to get a few messages on Instagram of people telling me they're listening and they enjoy the podcast. I just enjoy doing it. And I just enjoy being able to talk about this stuff. Being Central Wisconsin, it's not, every street corner where somebody's like, hey, you ready for the World Cup? Sometimes I do feel that isolation of, I'm on the road alone. But you know what? We're not alone because we're on this road together. And I thank you because I'm only on this road with others because you have chosen to listen in. So I hope the information is insightful. I hope that you guys are taking something from it. But I can honestly not wait because next week, guess what? We are under a month. It is coming fast and we better get there. So thanks for tuning in this week. Guys, make it a great day and we'll see y'all next week.